This is a message for all the people who are experiencing a heat wave right now. We're in a hobby where it really requires us to be outside and in the elements, in the wind, in the rain, in the thunderstorms, and in the sun. I've had heat stroke before, and I know what it can do to a person's body. I almost died, and I had it many years ago, and it still affects me. I was very, very ill for many months because of my heat stroke. And heat strokes can happen just instantly. You fall right down the ground, you don't even know that what's happening, right? You can be fine 1 minute, and all the next minute you're on a stretcher to the emergency room, or you're dead, right? Thousands and thousands of people die every year in the United States from heat stroke. In 2020, thousands of people died from heat exhaustion in the UK because they had a little heat wave there. But this new heat wave in the UK is something different, right? 104 degrees out, don't mess with it. Don't take that risk. Use extreme caution when you are outside carrying gear, your metal detector, your bag, your maybe your camera if you're using a camera, your shovel. This is all extra weight. And when you're carrying extra weight, if you guys have hunted in warm weather before, you guys know how it takes a toll on your body. When you get home or the next day, you are just exhausted. My area that I live in, it doesn't really get too hot. It's very similar to the UK weather. A lot of rain, a lot of clouds, mild temperatures. It doesn't really snow much here. It doesn't get over 100 degrees out here, or 39 degrees Celsius very often here. This summer has been very mild, in the 80s. Most of the days in the 80s, 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and the nighttime lows have been in the 50s and 60s. Basically normal temperatures. Last year we had our record heat wave, the hottest year on record. We had days that was 117 degrees without the humidity factor, right? That's 117 degrees ambient temperature, right, in my valley here. And we've never experienced those types of heat waves. We had the record amount of 100-degree weather last year, the record amount of 100-degree days in consecutive, the hottest consecutive months on record. In general, just a really hot year last year, right? Thousands and thousands of people died in my area. Thousands of people died in my area because of heat stroke, right? Heat exhaustion. You just collapse on the ground, and you're done. You're done for, right? So if it's above 90 degrees out, use extreme caution. And humidity has a big play in it too. Last year we had nights that were 85 degrees out, nighttime lows that were 85 degrees and 85% humidity. So that's over 100 degrees with the humidity factor equated in. And you just can't get a break from that if it's high humidity. Usually during the day, in the days here in the summertime, it's not very humid. But once that sun goes down, that humidity spikes and it becomes really sticky. And the humidity factor plays a big part in the actual what it feels like. The humidity factor goes up, makes it feel hotter than it is when the sun goes down. So be really careful, guys. It can happen to anybody, and even at some really mild temperatures, if you're not acclimated to it, don't take that risk. People can have heat stroke in 80-degree weather. Heat stroke and heat exhaustion are nothing to play around with, man. You can die from it. So just use extreme caution. And if it's going to be a hot, scorching day, don't go out there if you're not experienced. Because if you're not experienced with hot weather, or if you don't have an air conditioner to cool your body down at night, you're taking a humongous risk. If you're not experienced in it, that's the whole thing. People think that it's just going to be a hot day and they want to go outside because they don't want to be inside because they don't have an air conditioner, and they go outside and makes it even worse because you're out in the sun. and you're not experienced in the high temperatures, and that's when people drop like flies. They just die. They just die because they don't know what's happening. They don't know they're in a heat stroke situation, so they just keep on going like normal, and they boom, drop down dead on the ground. It's nothing to play with, man. By the time you get to the hospital, you're in coma, and you're not going to survive. Happens a lot in the United States. Actually, it's very common. It's very common to have heat stroke in the United States because we have high temperatures here, but we have air conditioners here to cool us down. So, in the UK, I think it's like right on 5% of the homes have air conditioning, and you look at all these homes in my neighborhood here, they're all equipped with air conditioners in their windows, right? And you go down south, in the southeast part of my country, you cannot sell a car that does not have air conditioning. Even if you drop the price down to a 25%, a quarter of what it's worth, if it does not have air conditioning, that car will not sell, man, because it can get over 200 degrees inside of cars when it gets really hot. So, well, thank you for watching. Be careful. Use extreme caution. Don't mess it up for yourself.